And good afternoon, everybody. It's time once again for Strat-O-Matic baseball. We're going to Wrigley Field today. May the 14th, 1966, the first of a two-game set between the Cincinnati Reds and the Chicago Cubs. And I see Franklin and welcome Ben. Oh, absolutely, Franklin. The bleachers in Wrigley. God, is there a better place to be? There might be, but I don't think I could name four. And welcome to Kenyon. Let me refresh this. I can see the bottom of the chat. So we had a pretty full day yesterday. Got the stat update in there. We're on to game 2 of week 6 today. Two left-handers on the mound, Jim O'Toole for the Reds, Dick Ellsworth for the Cubs. Two fine left-handers. 66, not particularly the best year for either of them, but they were solid seasons for these two lefties. O'Toole only 142 innings that year. He was a workhorse in his career in his prime. Ellsworth, 269 innings, but you can see the hits allowed were very high for Dick Ellsworth that year. Let's see what they've done in the replay so far. For O'Toole, he's 2-1 with a 2.70 ERA. He's been fine. This is his 4th start. He's pitched very well. For Dick Ellsworth, 2-1 with a 3.47. This is his 6th start. He has one complete game. 36 and a third innings, 39 hits allowed. For O'Toole, 20 innings, 20 hits allowed. So both pitchers can be hit. Will these teams hit them? Well, these are not offensive juggernauts. Cincinnati, one of the worst hitting teams in the majors so far, with a .217 team batting average and 23 home runs. The Cubs hitting a little better, .249. But with just 20 home runs, which to me it seems like, I don't know, out of that lineup. You look at the Cubs lineup and you would think they would have more than 20 home runs by now. Playing their 25th game of the season. Cincinnati, their 26th. Let's get the lineups in and we'll get going. Michael's going to have a rain delay in Traverse City. Michael is, okay, help me out with this one. Michael's North Dakota. Is that right, Michael? It's probably not, so excuse me if I'm wrong. Somebody here is from North Dakota. There's Jimmy Jam. Welcome to Jimmy. Hey, here's the Reds lineup for you, okay? Here's Tommy Helms leading off at third base. Pete Rose will play second base and hit in the 2 spot. Vada Pinson hits third and plays right field today. Tony Perez, the first baseman, hits cleanup. Don Pavletic behind the plate will bat 5th. DJ Darren Johnson in left, hitting 6th. Leo Cardenas, the shortstop, 7th. Tommy Harper in center bats 8th. And O'Toole, the pitcher, hits 9th. For the Cubs, Randy Hundley will be doing the catching. Ernie Banks at first. Beckert and Kessinger up the middle with Ron Santo down at third. That's right, get your hand out. Yes, yes. The outfield for the Cubs left to right is Williams, Adolfo, Phillips, and Brown. Thank you, Kenya. Yeah, O'Toole had a very nice stretch of games. In fact, one of his cards I've used in the 365 Strat-O-Matic game online, which you've heard me refer to repeatedly in the past. Let's see if I can find that card. Which one is it that we use in the all-time greats? The 64 card. 2.66 ERA with a 1.11 whip. And Jimmy's for the Cubs today. So two teams that have been struggling. The Reds come in 10-15. The Cubs 9-15. Something's got to give game. Ellsworth ready to go now as Tommy Helms stands in. Helms comes into the game leading the team in batting at .281. 2 home runs, 14 RBIs. A right-handed batter. Ellsworth gets the sign. The pitch from the left-hander to Helms is going to be a 4-9 right-handed, and that's a base hit right up the middle. Helms with a leadoff single to get things started. And we are underway. A very pleasant Tuesday here in Spokane. There's Kelly Hibbs. Welcome to Kelly. Runner on first. Let's check the stealing rating now. Helms not a threat to run. Cubs battery is Ellsworth with a 0 hold. Hundley with a 0 arm. So that's pretty easy to remember. Here's Pete Rose now. Switch hitter batting right-handed. Comes in at .255. A pair of home runs, 7 RBIs. And here's the pitch from the stretch. It's going to be a 1-8 left-handed. Base hit into right field. That's an open single. Helms can try to go to third on that. To right, we add 2. 13 plus 2, 15. Brown with a 0. He's going. And the throw is coming through. 1-15 to third, and he is out. Oh my goodness, how about that? Rose will move into second on the throw. And Helms is forced at third base on an excellent throw from right fielder Byron Brown. So the Reds, desperate to score, running the bases aggressively. And it doesn't work out, at least not this time. Here's Pinson. Left-handed hitter hitting just .238, 3 home runs, but a team leading 15 RBIs with a runner in scoring position. Left on left, Pinson trying to pick up Rose. That's going to be a .311 left-handed. It's a single into right field, same situation, open single. Rose 15 to the plate. Should they try it again? They're sending him. 1-15 to the plate. He scores. So Rose crosses the plate on the RBI single by Pinson. Pinson is 16. Takes second on the throw. 1-0 Cincinnati here in the first. 3 consecutive hits off of Ellsworth. Has not retired a man yet, but there is 1 out. Helms thrown out at third base. Here's Perez in the cleanup spot. Tony Perez hitting just .206 so far, 13 for 63. Just 1 homer and 4 RBIs out of the youngster Tony Perez. Ellsworth gets the sign from Hundley now. Pitch to Tony's a 5-6 right-hander. That's a ground ball behind the bag. Kessinger has it. Looks the runner back and throws him out. Two down, and Don Pavletic will be the batter. The right-handed hitting catcher hitting just .211. Pair of home runs, 4 RBIs. Ellsworth gets the sign now. The pitch to Pavletic, a 4-10 right-handed. It's a fly ball into center field. Backing up is Phillips. He's there to make the catch to retire the side. The Reds settle for a run on 3 hits and leave 1. We go to the bottom of the first. Cincinnati 1, Chicago coming to bat. As Jim O'Toole gets loose, we'll give you the Cubs lineup today. It'll be Adolfo Phillips leading off in center. Billy Williams moves up to the 2 spot in left field. Ron Santo moves up to the 3 spot. DeRocher trying to get his best hitters up there at the top of the lineup, something we see it quite often nowadays. Byron Brown in right field, hitting cleanup. Brown, who made that excellent throw to the plate in the top of the inning. Glenn Beckert moves down to the 5 spot. He's at second base. Ernie Banks plays first and bats 6th. Randy Hundley behind the dish hitting 7th, and Kessinger, the shortstop, hitting 8th. Ellsworth, of course, bats 9th. The Reds defensively will have Pavletic behind the plate, Perez at first, Rose and Cardenas up the middle with Tommy Helms down at third, and the outfield left to right of Johnson, Harper, and Pinson. O'Toole's ready to go now. And here's Adolfo Phillips to lead things off. Phillips hitting .273 since coming over from the Phillies. Pair of homers, 11 RBIs. The left-hander staring in now gets the sign from Pavletic. Here's the pitch to Phillips. It's a 1-8 left-handed. Single on a 6 on a 13. That liner is speared by Pete Rose for out number 1. So a soft liner to second handled by Rose. And Billy Williams will be the hitter. Williams up to .273 now, 5 home runs, 17 RBIs. Santo with 17 RBIs as well. That would be the team leaders for Chicago. O'Toole into the windup. Pitch to Billy is a 5-7 left-hander. That's a grounder to second base X. That's going to be Rose. Rose a 2E17. Tough play for Pete. Ranges behind the bag. On a 7, he makes a fine play, turns and throws him out. Nice play, Pete Rose, and there's 2 away. So 4-3X, Williams retired. And with 2 away, the batter will be Ron Santo. Santo batting .318, 4 home runs, 17 RBIs. O'Toole gets the sign. Pitch to Santo is a 4-11 right-hander. That's a high fly ball to deep left field. Backing up is Johnson. He's up the track at the wall and makes the catch at the wall to retire the side. So Santo just missed getting one out of here. Let's take another look at it. 4-11 right-handed, a homer to 14 on a 17. He was denied. Allowed out to left. 1-2-3 go the Cubs, and we're through an inning. 1-0 in Cincinnati. There's Ellsworth now, getting ready to start the second. Very quiet here today. You know why? Because the upstairs neighbors moved out yesterday. I'm going to celebrate later. I've got some gummies. Got a vape cartridge. Got a bottle of wine. Plenty of music. Oh, yeah. Here's to feeling good all the time, as Kramer once said. Darren Johnson will lead off the second for Cincinnati. DJ comes in hitting just .240, 4 home runs, 10 RBIs. The pitch to Johnson is a 6-12 right-hander. That's a comebacker. Grounder to the pitcher X. Ellsworth a 3E27. Here's the roll on the play. On a 19, he makes a nice grab. Flips to first in time. So a nice play by Ellsworth gets Johnson. 1-3X. 1 down, and here's Leo Cardenas. Which sound is that, Ben? The stadium sound effects? Cardenas hitting just .227, 4 home runs, 13 RBIs. Ellsworth gets the sign. Now the windup and the pitch. 6'9" right-handed. It's a little two-hopper down to first. Banks gloves it. It's a race to the bag. And Banks wins the race. Two down, and here's Tommy Harper. Harper off to a terrible start in his season. 6 for 66, folks. That's 091. Oh, yes, definitely, Ben. Now maybe they can get that refrigerator fixed or replaced. I won't have to listen to that anymore. I think they might have turned it off because I haven't heard it today. So Harper with a pretty good card. has pretty much done next to nothing. 091, no homers, no RBIs, 6 hits, only 1 for extra bases. That was a double. Pretty good card, too. He hit 278 that year, 349 on base. So Harper trying to get his season on track here. Ellsworth under the windup. It's a 5-7 right-handed, swung on and missed, strike 3, and Harper's struggles continue. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Dick Ellsworth. And we are going to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Cincinnati. There's baseball redo. Welcome. Is it blowing out? Doesn't look like it so far. Too early to tell. Here's O'Toole now. He'll be facing Brown, Becker, and Banks. Byron Brown hitting .233 so far. 4 homers, 11 RBIs. Right-handed hitter. The windup and the pitch from O'Toole is a .210 left-handed fly ball into left field. Johnson waiting on it. Pulls it in for out number 1. Here's Beckert in the 5 spot today. Beckert leads the club in batting at .340. No home runs, 7 RBIs. He does have 6 extra base hits. O'Toole gets the sign now. Here's the pitch. 1-8 left-handed. Bangs one up the middle for a base hit. So Beckert with a 1-out single. And now let's check the battery. Beckert a star 16 stealer. O'Toole with a 0 hold. Pavletic, however, with a +2R would make him an 18. They will have to hold Beckert on. Held on, he's a 60, and he needs a 7 for the lead, and Ernie Banks steps to the plate. Banks hitting just .208 so far, a pair of homers, 9 RBIs, and Beckert's going to try for the lead. He needs a 7. He's got a 7. The pitch to Banks, here he goes, 1-16, a throw from Pavletic. He's in there on a possible overthrow. 1-3 is the overthrow number. Pavletic with a 1-14. Throws it into center field. Stolen base and error. And Beckert winds up at third. For Glenn Beckert, his second stolen base of the season. The next pitch to Banks. Second inning, the Reds are going to pull the infield in with 1 away. Pitch to Ernie. 2-4 left-hander is a fly ball to right field, B question mark. Beckert can try to tag on that. .14 with 2 outs, 16. Pinson's in right, a -2. 1-14, it's a tying run. They're going to send him. The throw from Pinson. He's out at the plate. Oh my goodness. Beckert gunned down at the plate on a strong throw from Veda Pinson. And we've already had 2 runners thrown out on the base paths today in this one. No runs, a hit, nobody left on. We're through 2. It's 1-0 Cincinnati. And there's Gerald. Welcome, Gerald. Who's pitching? Gerald says. Well, it's O'Toole for the Reds. Dick Ellsworth for the Cubs. And we move along to the third. Ellsworth taking a few warm-ups now. And O'Toole, the pitcher, will lead it off for the Reds. Switch hitter, he'll be batting right-handed against Ellsworth. 1W. The pitch. 1-6, struck him out. Second strikeout for Ellsworth. And here's Helms. Helms singled. Was thrown out at third base in the first inning. Ellsworth gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Helms. 4-7 right-handed. Single on a 5, on an 11. That's going to be a liner right into the glove of Santo for out number 2. So Helms hit it on the screws, but right at the Gold Glove third baseman, Ron Santo. 2 down quickly, and here's Pete Rose. Rose, of course, hitting right-handed. Singled his first time up, came in to score the game's only run so far. Here's the pitch now, a 2-7. It's a grounder up the middle. Kessinger there to cut it off. Throws him out, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Ellsworth. Go to the bottom of the third, still 1-0 Cincinnati. Here's O'Toole. Kind of looks like the wind could be blowing in today. Here in the Windy City, Wrigley Field, Chicago. May the 14th, 1966. Bottom of the order due up for the Cubs. Randy Hundley, the catcher, will lead things off. Hundley's batting .266 so far. 3 homers, 14 RBIs. O'Toole, the left-hander, stares in to get the sign. Here's the windup and the pitch to Hundley. It's a 3-6 left-handed. He struck him out. First strikeout of the game for O'Toole, and that'll bring up Kessinger. Kessinger hitting .259 so far. No homers, just 2 RBIs. Switch hitter batting right-handed against O'Toole, and here's the pitch. 3-6 left-handed is a grounder down to third. Helms has it. Throws across in time, and there's 2 away. And here's the pitcher, Ellsworth, a left-handed hitter. 2W, left on left. Here's the pitch. 4-11 left-handed. It's a base hit up the middle. Ground ball with eyes, right up the middle and through. And Dick Ellsworth has himself a 2-out base hit. So Ellsworth trying to help his own cause there. That'll give Adolfo Phillips a crack. He's 0 for 1. O'Toole checks the runner. Now comes to the plate on a 5-6 right-handed. It's a fly ball to straightaway center. Harper going back a bit and pulls it in for out number 3. That'll end the inning. No runs a hit, 1 left on. And we're through at 3 innings here at Wrigley. Reds 1, Cubs nothing. Just getting started here. Hang out with me for about an hour or so. I appreciate the company. Welcome to Mike. Mike's here in the chat. Glad to have you, Mike. Let me refresh here. Look at his defense numbers. Oh, you're talking about Pavletic, right, Franklin? I got to do something about this lighting. Hang on here. Sorry about that. Okay, that looks better. I had to tilt that ring light. I had one corner of it, or one side of it, practically right in my eyes. Three innings in the books. It's 1-0 Reds. We move along to the 4th inning. It'll be the heart of the order for Cincinnati. Pinson, Perez, and Pavletic. Pinson singled in the game's only run back in the first. Left on left as Ellsworth comes set. Here's the pitch to Pinson. It's going to be a 5-10 left-handed. It's a fly ball into right, very shallow. Charging in is Brown, still coming. He's there to take it for out number 1. And that'll bring up Tony Perez, the youngster Tony Perez, 0 for 1 so far. Ellsworth into the windup. That's going to be a 3-6 left-handed, and he loses him, ball 4. So a 1-out walk to Perez. first walk of the ball game. And Perez goes down to first. Here's Pavletic. Pavletic 0 for 1. Ellsworth checks the runner now from the stretch. 4-8 right-handed. That's a single into right center field, cut off by Phillips. Perez will round and go to third. And the Reds are in business. Runners at the corners and one away. With Darren Johnson coming to the plate, how are we going to play it? One out, runners at the corners. One thing I like to do when it's close is get a look at the ground ball A's on the card. 9, 12, 18. Looks like Johnson could hit into a few double plays, at least against the lefty. The Cubs are going to go ahead and play at double play depth. Ellsworth trying to get a ground ball out of DJ, who's 0 for 1. From the stretch now, the pitch to Darren Johnson. A 1-9 is a high drive to deep left field. Williams takes a few steps back and just watches it land halfway up the bleachers, right next to where Franklin Long is sitting. And it's a 3-run blast for Darren Johnson. Perez and Pavletic scoring ahead of him. That makes it 4-0. And for Darren Johnson, his 5th home run of the season. The crowd is stunned. Okay, Ellsworth gets a new ball. Here's Leo Cardenas. Cardenas 0 for 1. Ellsworth into the windup. It's a 4-7 right-handed. A single to 5 on an 11. That's a soft liner right into the glove of Ron Santo for out number 2. And with 2 down, Tommy Harper will come to bat. Harper struck out his first time against Dick Ellsworth. Ellsworth staring in now, gets the sign. The windup to pitch to Harper, a 2-6 left-handed base hit up the middle. Solid single into center for Harper, who has blazing speed. Let's check the situation now. Harper a star 18. Ellsworth is 0, Hundley is 0. Harper will be held on, making him a 16. And the pitcher is up, a switch hitter. 1 to 16, you got to try for that, don't you? 2 through 5 are 11. 6, he does not get the lead. And O'Toole will swing away. O'Toole batting right-handed against Ellsworth. 2-7, struck him out. That ends the inning, but 3 big runs put up by the Reds on a 3-run blast by Darren Johnson. And they take a 4-0 lead into the bottom of the 4th. Good job, Franklin. Well, at least you dodged him. Yeah, why is it always the guys with the beer in their hand that are going for the ball, right? To the bottom of the 4th we go. Williams, Santo, and Brown due for the Cubs as they try to get something going here against Jim O'Toole. O'Toole's been in complete command through 3. Left on left now. O'Toole set. The pitch to Billy Williams is a 5-10 left-handed. That's a grounder to shortstop X. That'll be Leo Cardenas. Tough play for Cardenas as he goes into the hole. He's a 2E16. And here's the play. On a 17, he's there. Plants and throws in time. So a nice play by Cardenas retires Williams. 6-3X. And with 1 away, Ron Santo will be the hitter. Santo's 0 for 1 today. O'Toole into the windup. Pitch to Ron Santos, a 1-6 left-handed. Base hit up the middle. So a one-out single by Santo. And here's Byron Brown, Glenn Beckert on deck. Brown flew to left his first time up. O'Toole now working out of the stretch. Delivers to Brown. 3-6 left-handed, and he loses him. Ball 4, and the Cubs have something going here in the bottom of the fourth. First and second, one away. And here's their leading hitter, Glenn Beckert. Beckert, as previously mentioned, came into the game batting .340 on the season. Singled his first time up. Stole second, went to third on the throwing error, and then was thrown out at the plate trying to score on the fly ball to right field. O'Toole staring in now from the stretch. To Beckert, 6-11 right-handed, base hit up the middle to center field. That's an open single. Santo could try to score on that. 1 through 11. Harper a +1, 1 through 12. Not good enough. They're going to hold him up. And the Cubs will have the bases loaded. And here's Mr. Cub himself. Bases loaded, one out, and Ernie Banks comes to the plate. Banks, of course, hit the fly ball to right in the second inning. Infield at double play depth. O'Toole set now. The pitch to Banks, 4-7, swung on and missed, strike 3. Oh my goodness, what a huge strikeout that was by O'Toole. Just his second strikeout of the game, but it could not have come at a better time. With the bases loaded and one out, he fans Ernie Banks. Now we'll be up to Randy Hundley. Hundley, the other strikeout victim of O'Toole so far. O'Toole checks the runners. Now the full windup and the pitch to Hundley. It's going to be a 3-9 left-hander. It's a little ground ball, slow roller to short. Cardenas charging, throws in time. And the Cubs leave the bases loaded. No runs, 2 hits. 3 left. And we're through 4 innings. 4-0 Cincinnati. Cubs waste a huge opportunity there in the fourth. Here's Ellsworth now, facing the top of the Cincinnati batting order. Helms, Rose, and Pinson. Tommy Helms is 1 for 2 today. And Ben's got a ball game coming up in his replay, 1976. And greetings, Perry. Looks like the gang's all here, or the gang's mostly all here. Pleasure to have you, fellas. Here's Helms, 1 for 2. Ellsworth, the windup and the pitch on a 4-8. That's a base hit up the middle. Tommy Helms, 2 for 3, has a leadoff single. And the batter will be Rose. Rose, 1 for 2. Ellsworth now working from the stretch. Gets the sign from Hundley. Here's the pitch to Rose. 6-6 right-handed. It's a ground ball down to third base. Santo fields it. Throws to Beckert for 1. On to Banks, not in time. That will be a 5-4 fourth. Rose at first with 1 out. And Veda Pinson coming to bat. Tony Perez on deck. Pinson 1 for 2 today. Left on left as Ellsworth comes set. From the stretch, 2-3 left-handed. Grounder down to shortstop. Kessinger throws to Beckert for 1. To Banks, not in time. So another force play, 6-4. And there's 2 away. Here is Perez, 0 for 1 with a walk. Ellsworth trying to get out of this inning now. The pitch to Tony Perez. 5-5 right-handed. It's a fly ball into shallow left field. Billy Williams comes in a bit and takes it for the 3rd out. For Cincinnati, no runs a hit, 1 man left on. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 4-0. Oh, and I can relate. I feel your pain, Franklin. In my life, I have never even been in the vicinity of catching a ball, foul or otherwise. O'Toole set to work in the bottom of the 5th. That could be the end of the line for Dick Ellsworth. Anyone in the chat? Any should I hit for Ellsworth here? Opinions on this are always welcome, of course. I love to get you guys involved in the games. I'm leaning towards hitting for him. Trail by 4. Kessinger will lead it off. He's 0 for 1, batting right-handed. Pitch from O'Toole is a 2-5 single to 16 on a 13. That is past a diving Helms and into left field for a leadoff single. And the Cubs, desperately in need of runs, are going to send up a pinch hitter for Ellsworth. So a short day for Ellsworth. He only goes 5 today. Fergie Jenkins, the long man in the pen, getting loose. And Ellsworth, 5 innings of work. He allowed 7 hits, 4 runs, walked 1, struck out 3. Let's find a pinch hitter against the lefty O'Toole. This could be challenging. They also use Warwick in real life. Let's take a look at him. Jimmy Stewart's going to come to the plate for Chicago. Jimmy Stewart, the pinch hitter. Runner on first, nobody out. Stewart, a switch hitter. So far, 0 for 7 on the season. He's been in 5 games. Looking for his first hit. Does Jimmy have Harvey with him? Well, I'm not sure. Here's Jimmy now, batting right-handed. The pitch from the stretch is a 1-8, and he loses him ball 4. That pushes Kessinger down to second, and the Cubs have the first 2 men on here in the bottom of the 5th. Top of the order coming up. O'Toole rated 6 for endurance. First and second, nobody out. O'Toole from the stretch. Pitch to Phillips. 6'9" right-handed. That's going to be extra bases. Double 2 stars off of O'Toole's card. Kessinger will round and score. Ellsworth will be held up at third. It's an RBI double for Adolfo Phillips. That makes it 4-1, and the Cubs have second and third with nobody out. So O'Toole in a jam here now. Leads at 4-1, but Williams at the plate and Ron Santo on deck. Billy Williams 0 for 2 so far. With a 4-1 lead, I'm thinking now infield in or back. I'm going to let the dice decide. 1-3 will be in. It's a 2. Infield will be in for Billy Williams. Left on left. O'Toole checks the runners. Here's the pitch to Billy. 5-10 left-handed. A grounder to short X with the infield in. Cardenas, a fine defensive shortstop. 2E16. And here's the play on a 5. That's a ground ball C. Let me be sure about this one now. Second and third in. Batter out, runners hold. So the infield in saves a run. And the play will go 6-3X for the first out. Here's Sano with one away. I'm going to roll it again, in or back. Still in for Sano. Second and third, 1 down. O'Toole staring in intently now, nodding. Here's the windup, the pitch to Ron Santo. 4-8 right-handed. That is a 2-star single into center field. Harper to get it. Here comes Ellsworth to score. Here comes Phillips to score on a 2-run single by Ron Santo, and just like that, we've got a 4-3 ball game. So Santo coming up big here in the 5th. 2-run single. Still only 1 away, and Byron Brown will be the hitter. And that's a good point, Mike. They're starting to hit O'Toole. Don Notabart, the righty down there. Jerry Arrigo, the left-hander in the Cincinnati pen. Here's Byron Brown. Sano, no threat to run. Brown 0 for 1 with a walk. O'Toole from the stretch. 4-6 right-handed, and he loses in ball 4. So Brown walks for the second time today. Three hits and 2 walks in this inning, and here comes Hefner. Beckert 2 for 2, a right-handed batter due up. He's going to go to the right-hander right here. So a disappointing day for both starting pitchers. Which makes it somewhat disappointing for me, as you regulars know. I love it when the starters go deep. However, that will not happen today. O'Toole lasts just 4 1/3. 7 hits. 3 runs so far. 2 runners on are his responsibility. He walked 3. Struck out a pair. Notabart coming in now, the right-hander, to face Glenn Beckert. Here's Notabart, a good card. What's he done in the replay? Well, let's take a look. Notabart's been in 12 games. He's 0-1, 1 save, and a very high 6.60 ERA. My favorite baseball movie. I'll have to think on that one, Gerald. God, there's quite a few good ones. Bull Durham comes to mind immediately. Major League comes to mind. I'd probably say, if I had to pick between the two, God, it's too hard. I could really say either one of those. I might be forgetting one. I like Field of Dreams as well. And, oh, for me, no, I don't, Gerald. I don't use ballpark or weather. I'm playing the advanced version except for the stealing base runner advancement. Okay, here's the situation. Notabart's coming on now with 1 out in the 5th. 4-3 Reds. The Cubs have runners at first and second, and Glenn Beckert at the plate. Glenn, who's 2 for 2 today, standing in from the right side. Notabart from the stretch comes to the plate, 6-6 right-handed. It's a single to 11 on a 14. That liner is speared at third by Helms. Oh my God, what a play by Helms. That probably saved a run. And with 2 out, it will be up to Ernie Banks. Tying run in scoring position. Brown at first. Sano at second. Here's the pitch to Banks. 6-6 right-handed. Single to 11. That one is knocked down at third by Helms, but he has no play. That's going to be ruled an infield single, and the bases are loaded. Sano down to third. Brown down to second. And the Cubs will bat around here in the 5th. As Randy Hundley comes to the plate. I liked 8 men out a lot as well. That was a hell of a cast. Okay, here's Hundley, bases loaded, 2 down. Notabart staring in, checks the runners. Full windup now. And the pitch to Hundley on a 2-10 is a high fly ball driven to deep left field. Johnson heads back on the track at the wall. It's gone. It's a grand salami by Randy Hundley. Get out the rye and the mustard. Hundley with a grand salami. Holy cow, and the Cubs take the lead in a big way. Sano scores, Brown scores, Banks scores. Seven runs have crossed the plate here in the 5th inning, and it's 7-4 Chicago. Holy crap, let's look at that one again. 2-10 right-handed, homer to 18 on a 15. Hundley drives it out of here for the grand slam home run. Holy cow, for Randy, his 4th home run of the season. Here's Kessinger now. Kessinger singled to start off this inning. That's going to be a 2-11 right-handed. It's a foul ball behind the plate. Pavletic going back, drops the mask, and makes the catch to retire the side. And bear with me here because I'm going to split this. We're going to split that box. I'll make it in red so that I can read it later. The Cubs score 7 runs in the 5th on 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. Excuse me, 5 hits. 1, 2, 5 hits, a pair of walks. And after 5 complete, they lead it 7-4. Fergie Jenkins coming on now to pitch for the Cubs. Jenkins has worked strictly in relief so far this season. He's been in 8 ball games, 1-2 with 1 saves and a rather high 6.32 ERA so far on the season. The card, as I always like to say, much better than that. The Reds will have Pavletic, Johnson, and Cardenas as we go to the 6th. Jenkins ready to work now. Pavletic, the right-handed hitting catcher. Jenkins gets the sign. Here's the pitch. 3-5 right-handed. He struck him out. Fergie Jenkins, a favorite of my youth. One of many, of course. Here's DJ, 1 for 2 with a home run. A 3-run blast in the 4th. Jenkins gets the sign. Here's the windup and the pitch on a 6-7 right-handed. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. So Jenkins, announcing his presence with authority, fans the first 2 batters he faces. And up next will be Leo Cardenas, who's 0 for 2 today. Jenkins into the windup. The pitch for Leo. 1-11 right-handed, a little slow roller to first base. Banks will take it himself, and it's a 1-2-3 shutdown inning for Fergie Jenkins. Through 5.5 in Wrigley, it's Cubs 7, Reds 4. Holy cow, that turned in a hurry. Notabart will come back out there. Jenkins, a pretty good hitting pitcher, 6N. Have to get a new pitcher's hitting card out here. Right-handed batter, 6 with N power. And he'll be leading it off here in the bottom of the inning. Notabart into the windup. That's going to be a 4-7 right-handed, and he loses him ball 4. So a leadoff walk to Fergie Jenkins. Holy cow. So long, Mike. Glad you could make it, buddy. Here's Phillips now, 1 for 3. Notabart studying the signs, now from the stretch. Mr. Phillips is a 2-4 right-handed, and he hits him. Oh, my. Phillips drilled. He's not happy about it as he walks slowly down to first. Jenkins will take second. The batter will be Billy Williams. Oh, BR, I tell you, the Cubs batted around in the 5th, plating 7th. The key blow, a grand slam by Randy Hundley. So here's Billy, first and second, nobody out. Notabart from the stretch, 5-8 left-hander with a fly ball into left field. Williams lofts one the other way. Darren Johnson backing up a few steps, and he'll make the catch for the first out of the inning. The batter will be Santo. Santo's 2 for 3 today. Notabart from the stretch, pitch to Santo, 6-4 right-handed with the grounder to short X. That could be 2. Cardenas, a good fielder, 2E16. Here's the play on an 11. That's the error range. 16, and the roll is a 10, and it is indeed a double play. Cardenas, 2 rows to Perez, and that will end the inning. So a beautiful play by Cardenas, 6-4-3X, retires the side. No runs, no hits, 1 left on, and we're through 6 innings. Cubs 7, Reds 4. Boy, isn't that the truth? 2.5 innings for a freaking weenie? I used to say that. Reminds me when I went down to the San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium, took my dad down there in the early 80s. And it was actually the mid to late 80s. Probably 86, if I had to say. We hadn't been to a game in a while because I lived in Grass Valley between 81 and 85. Moved back to Orange County. We drove down to Jack Murphy, and I can still hear my dad saying, it had been a while since we paid the prices right. They'd gone up a lot since 1980. My dad goes, $8 for a beer? Yeah, I could still hear it. You had to be there, I guess, but that always brings a smile to my face for some reason. We go to the 7th inning. Jenkins back on for his second inning of work. It'll be Harper, the pitcher's spot, and Helms for Cincinnati. Harper 1 for 2. Still trying to get his season going as Jenkins stares in, gets the sign from Hundley. There's a pitch to Harper on a 2-4 right-handed. Right in his good column, he lofts a lazy fly ball into right field. Byron Brown is right there to grab it. And there's one down. Now we'll have a pinch hitter for Notabart. Notabart goes 1 2/3 today. Two hits. 2 of the runs charged to him. He walked 2 and hit a batter and did not strike out anyone. See, coming up, mostly right-handers for the Cubs. A lot of left-handers in the Cincinnati pen, but Jack Balshan's available. He's a right-hander, and he'll begin throwing. Batting for Notabart. Will be Jimmy Coker, who played in this game in real life. I don't remember ever saying his name before. Let's take a look. He has been in one game. Does not have an official at bat. Interesting. So what did he do then? Came in to catch for an inning or something? He's been in one game, has no official plate appearance. Anyway, he's batting here, right-handed hitter with 1 down. Jenkins into the windup, comes to the plate 1-8, and he loses him ball 4. So Coker with the pinch hit walk. And that'll bring up Tommy Helms. Helms 2 for 3 in this one. Jenkins checks the runner. Now from the stretch, delivers the pitch to Helms on a 4-10 right-handed, single to 7 on an 18. That liner is right into the glove of Don Kessinger for out number 2. So liner to short, 2 away, and it'll be up to Pete Rose. Vada Pinson on deck. If Rose could get on, Pinson would represent the tying run at the plate. Rose 1 for 3 today. Batting left-handed now against Jenkins. Here's the pitch. It's a 2-12, foul ball behind the plate. Hundley back, drops the mask, and puts it away to retire the side. So Jenkins snuffs out the rally. No runs, no hits, 1 left on. As we stretch for the 7th, it is 7-4 Cubs. I'm going to take a moment here while we stretch, refill my coffee, and catch up on the chat a little bit. I remember $2 beer, Perry, and welcome to So Bowling. That was true then, Franklin, and with the price of sodas, you might as well get the beer. I found that to be true then. I can remember paying $1.50 for bleacher seats. Oh yeah, let me warm this coffee. Yeah, I can remember paying $1.50 for an outfield bleacher seat. Baseball Redo just looked it up. Yeah, the Cubs were bad in '66. The Reds weren't much better. So Clash of the Titans here today. It's 7-4 Cubs. New pitcher coming on for Cincinnati. That'll be Jack Balshin. Balshin, one of the keys to the Frank Robinson trade. Fact is sometimes stranger than fiction. Yeah, it was Pappas for Robinson, everyone remembers that, but what is often unknown is that the Reds' general manager had been coveting Balshin for years, and he had to be included in the deal or there was no deal. Balshin in the replay so far, well, he's been in 7 games. He's lasted only 2 1/3 innings and is 0-1 with a 27.0 ERA. Obviously, nobody's that bad. He's the last right-hander in the pen, although Joey J is available if necessary. He's a right-hander. Normally a starter, he is available today. Brown, Beckert, and Banks, the B-boys up here for the Cubs in the bottom of the 7th. Brown 0 for 1 has walked twice. Balshin ready to go to work now. The windup on the pitch to Brown. It's a 2-6 right-handed. Base hit into left field, and Brown's aboard to lead it off. Brown's been on base 3 times today. So a leadoff single by Byron Brown, and here is Glenn Beckert now. Beckert 2 for 3. Balshin working out of the stretch. Here's the pitch to Beckert. 5-9 right-handed, a grounder to short X. That could be 2. Cardenas a 2E16. Ranging behind the bag. Here's the play on a 3. He's got it. Only play is to first, however. An amazing play by Cardenas, and the runner will advance. It's a web jam to get 1 out. And Brown will take second on the play. And there's Jeremiah. Oh my goodness. He's due for a better outing, Kenyon. Yeah, he said we weren't as bad. Perry, I think he said we're not as bad as the 65 record. And then it turned out they were even worse. Well, here's Ernie Banks, runner on second, 1 away. Banks 1 for 3 today. Balshin checks the runner. Now comes to the plate. 6-4 right-handed as a grounder to third base X. That's going to be Helms. Helms a good third baseman, 2E19. Tough play for Tommy. Here's the roll. It's the E range. It's going to be an 8 on a 19, and he makes the play for the out. Runner holds on a fine play by Tommy Helms down at third base. Here's Hundley now. Hundley, who really excited this crowd with a grand slam home run his last time up. 1 for 3 today. Runner at second, 2 down. Balshin staring in now. Here's the pitch to Hundley. 4-8 right-handed. Base hit into left field. That's an open single. Brown could try to score on that. To left, 12, 2 outs, 14. Johnson in left is the plus 15. They're going to send him. Here's the throw to the plate. 15. He's out at the plate. Oh, my goodness. The third base runner gunned out on the bases today. And that ends the inning. Nothing doing for the Cubs in the 7th. Through 7 innings, it's 7-4 Cubs. Boy, I tell you, you guys ever play and have these days where it just doesn't pay to force any issues at all on the bases? I've had games like that playing other guys, like in my keeper leagues. Every time you try to steal or take an extra base, you get into the 7th inning and you're thinking, shit, do I really want to push it? I haven't been safe today. Yes, sir, another outfield assist. We go to the 8th inning. Fergie Jenkins coming out for his 3rd inning of work. He's been good. Hasn't allowed a hit in 2 innings so far. He's rated 4 for relief endurance. Heart of the order for Cincinnati. Pinson, Perez, Pavletic. Veda Pinson, 1 for 3 today. Jenkins into the windup. Here's the pitch to Veda, a 1-7 right-hander. It's a little ground ball wide of second. Beckert plugs up the hole, turns and throws to Ernie Banks for out number 1. Here's Perez now, 0 for 2 with the walk. Jenkins into the windup. Pitch to Tony, 2-8 right-hander. It's a little comebacker. Jenkins has it. Takes a couple steps towards first and tosses it to Banks for out number 2. Quickly 2 away in the 8th. And here's Pavletic. Ted Abernathy begins to toss lightly in the Cub pen. Jenkins staring in to get the sign. The pitch to Pavletic. 3-10 right-handed as a fly ball into right field. That's playable for Brown, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Fergie Jenkins. A 7-4 ball game. And that's going to be a bit of a dilemma, too. I'll throw this one out to the chat, okay? Do you want to let Jenkins pitch the 9th or bring in Abernathy? Abernathy, the closer, he has 3 saves on the season so far. But I kind of like the way Jenkins is pitching. And Kenyon agrees. For the Reds, Balshin will start the inning. Lefty Ted Davidson throwing in the Cincinnati pen. Kessinger will lead it off. Don, a switch hitter. 1 for 3 today. Batting left-handed against Balshin. The windup and the pitch to Kessinger is a 4-8 left-handed. That's a double to 5 on a 14. He'll settle for a long single. And that's going to bring up Jenkins. Jenkins, a B bunter. Also a 6 with N power hitter. I'm going to let the dice decide in or back here. Infield is in. That would make Jenkins a C bunter. He's going to lay it down anyway with nobody else. 8 on a C. Successful sacrifice bunt by Fergie Jenkins. That moves Kessinger into scoring position. Now that doesn't mean Jenkins is going to pitch the 9th. It was a bunt situation anyway. Let Jenkins go. He'll be in his first fatigue inning, Ben. He's a 4. And that will be inning number 4. Yeah, he was a long man, rated 4 for endurance for a reliever. That's, you haven't seen that in many years. So here's Adolfo Phillips, 1 down, a runner in scoring position. Phillips 1 for 3 today. Was hit by a pitch his last time up. Still doesn't look too happy about it as he stands in from the right side. And here's the pitch from Jack Balkin now. On a 3-4 right-handed, he struck him out. So Phillips may have let his emotions get carried away there. Still a little PO'd after being hit by the pitch. He chased a pitch that was clearly out of the strike zone and goes down swinging. Here's Williams now. Williams 0 for 4 today. Balshin stares in to get the sign now. On a 1-4, a liner right into the glove of Tony Perez. Oh my goodness. And that ends the inning. No runs, a hit, 1 left. We go to the 9th. 7-4 Cubs. Let's check the Cubs for defense now. Brown could come out. That's what we're going to do. Byron Brown will come out. He'll be replaced by Ty Klein, who will go into center, with Phillips moving to right. So Klein in center, a 2E10, plus 1 arm. Phillips in right, the same rating. No, he actually gets... Yeah, he's in his first endurance inning. He gets 12 outs. Well, yeah, you're right. He gets 9 outs. He's had his 9 outs, but it takes 3 hits and or walks to fatigue him. So he has some leeway. Abernathy's ready, but Jenkins is going to start the inning. I love that. What would Leo do? Well, I'm going to quote Perry here. I think in '66, they'd have probably let him do it. He worked 184 innings that year. Johnson, Cardenas, and Tommy Harper due for the Reds. They trail by 3. Good time to thank all you guys for hanging out with me in a very lively and fun chat today. Johnson 1 for 3 with a home run. Jenkins gets the sign now from Hundley. Here's the pitch to DJ. It's a 3-3 right-handed grounder down to third base. That's where Sano's playing. He's got it. Throws him out number 1. And here's Leo now. Leo's 0 for 3 today. Jenkins can smell it as he gets the sign from Hundley. There's the windup and the pitch. It's a 4-7 right-handed, swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the Reds are down to their last out. And it will be Tommy Harper. Harper 1 for 3 today. Jenkins stares in now to get the sign. Here's the windup. The pitch to Tommy Harper, a 4-3 right-handed, is a high fly ball to deep left field. That's going to be down for a single, as Harper is weak against righties. Let's take a look at it. 4-3 right-handed and homer. Harper and against lefties, but against righties, it's going to be a long single for Harper. Harper 2 for 4. With Jenkins +3 out there, he's a 20 not held. They'll hold him on, making him an 18, and we'll have a pinch hitter now for Balshin. Let's see what they have. Best bet, probably Gordy Coleman. So batting for Balshin will be Gordy Coleman. Coleman began the season as the starting first baseman, appears to have lost his job to the young Tony Perez. Hitting just 158 in the replay, 6 for 38. He does have 1 home run. Runner on first, 2 down. Jenkins checks the runner. Now the pitch to Gordy Coleman. 1-3 right-handed. It's a grounder wide of second. Beckert plugs up the hole, flips to Banks, and the ball game is over. No runs, a hit, 1 left. And the Cubs, with a 7-run 5th inning, win the game 7-4. I'll have the totals for you in a moment. Jenkins with the rare 4-inning save. How about that? Yeah, Ellsworth pitched 5. They took the lead on his watch, so he gets the win. Improves to 3-1. Jenkins with the 4-inning save. That will be his 2nd save of the season. He allowed only 1 hit. Walked 1. Struck out 3. Magnificent relief performance by Fergie Jenkins. O'Toole gave up 5 runs, so he takes the loss. He's 2-2 now. Balshin in his 2 innings of work, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 1 K. That makes the totals for the Cubs 7 runs on 12 hits, no errors. For Cincinnati, 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Chief Spokane Gary, player of the game. I'm inclined to go with Randy Hundley for the slam. Was also had another hit, so he was 2 for 4. The grand slam turned the game completely upside down. You can make a case for Jenkins as well. 4 scoreless innings of relief for the save. But I got to go with Hundley in this one. You have to admit the most exciting play of the game was that was that grand slam. The crowd went wild. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good crowd today. Good lively chat. I love to see a good lively chat. Looking ahead for tomorrow, we're going to have the Baltimore Orioles at the Cleveland Indians. Wally Bunker will get the start for the Orioles. Sonny Siebert on the mound for the Indians. Right, man. Yeah, these darn kids these days, right? You're not wrong. So that's kind of saying that I'm right. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to get out of here and see what Mookie's doing. Oh, there he is. Let's have a quick look here, and then I'll get out of here. There he is. On his little cat tree. He loves that thing. Usually he's ready to eat by now. Well, I'm ready to eat. We'll see if he'll join me. Thanks again, everybody. Hopefully see you tomorrow, 1:30 Pacific. Spokane Steve signing off. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Thanks again, guys.